What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D, don't believe in T-H-O-T. She keep playing me dumb, I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental, let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought, no flow rain wasn't pouring down. See, that pain was all around, see, my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn, flow was cool but I still felt burned. Energy up, you can feel my surge, I'ma kill everything like this purge. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I seen you deflate. Let me elevate. This ain't a prank. Have you walking on a plane? Both hands together, God, let me pray. I been going right around, call that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't drink them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please read between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean.
Check out your dad with the swag on the floor. Mama gon' brag when I walk in the door. Y'all ain't never seen a gorilla in the mist walk the line so fine with a blindfold. Keep in mind though, hot dad riding in on a rhino. Got the roll on the rap with the dad vibes. Now everybody bounce with the franchise. Come on. Can't live with them, can't live without them. New kid back on the block with a rip. Dad got the fag in the back with the drip. Come and get a tip. Like a river, flow so cold, need ice to deliver. Drop so hard like a rock, dad don't stop. So damn clean, he a mop. Sugar cane, down with the main. Dad so sweet that his nickname Candy. Y'all been gone for a minute, dad vibe bounce to the finish. I can get with that. Can't live with him, can't live without him. New kid back on the block with a rip. Dad got the fag in the back with the drip. Come and get a sip.
I never seem to finish all my food. I always get a doggy bag from the waiter, so I just keep what's still unchewed. And I take it home, save it for later. But then I deal with fungal rot, bacterial formation, microbes, enzymes, mold and oxidation. I don't care, I've got a secret trick up my sleeve. I never bother with baggies, glass jars, Tupperware containers, plastic cling wrap, really a no-brainer. I just like to keep all my flavors sealed and tight with aluminum foil. Never settle for less. That kind of wrap is just the best to keep your sandwich nice and fresh. Stick it in your cooler. Eat it when you're ready. Then maybe you'll choose a refreshing herbal tea.
Lovely.
Oh, by the way, I've cracked the code. I figured out the shadow organizations, and the Illuminati know that they're finally primed for world domination. And soon you've got black helicopters coming across the border, puppet masters for the New World Order. Be aware, there's always someone that's watching you, and still the government won't admit they faked a whole moon landing. Thought control race, psychotronic scanning, don't mind that. I'm protected cause I made this hat from aluminum foil. Where it had this foil line in case an alien's inclined to probe your butt or read your mind. Looks a bit peculiar. Seems a little crazy, but someday I'll prove there's a big conspiracy.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. If you're raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase it? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So I don't think they want us talking about this shit because Bass tried to call me. I tried to call him. Fucking numbers weren't going. The calls weren't going through. We both just had to restart our phones. All right. So you got to give us a few minutes. We're getting our cousins together because 3 out of 4 of us are dads and we have like shit to take care of. But how are you guys doing this evening?
So that's not bad points against me.
What happened?
I said that's not bad points against me.
I didn't say it was, did I? Turn the camera a little bit.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
There we go. That's better. So yeah, we're just waiting to link up with our cousins because we were texting back and forth earlier, and now our phones all started acting fucking squirrely. So, well, the show must go on, doesn't it? So what's going on? Let's see, we got 21 in here. So what do you guys think of that selection of music tonight? All right, so what was the first one? That was the first song I played.
Astronaut noise rolling down.
Oh yeah. All right, yeah, we all know about that one. But that second one was the is Limp Bizkit. It's called Dad Vibes. And then you guys know who that third song was. A fucking Weird Al with the aluminum foil. Great song. Sorry, I got some in my eye here.
That it is.
But what's going on, folks? How's your week been?
Like, I'm getting annoyed because I don't even know if my damn text messages are going through to them.
Wait, let me try. Hold on. Because I was mad weird because we were texting all back and forth. What? Oh, fucking woke up. Said put some tunes on. Yeah, because we were texting back and forth and shit earlier. And I just tried to call. Bass put in private chat that he tried to call me. Because I tried to call him 15 minutes ago and I thought he just didn't hear the shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what that's about.
The text.
Like my shit acts squirrely every once in a while, but like not like this.
All right. Yep. All right. So it sounds like that just vibrated for you, Bass. Did it go through?
Yeah.
All right. So now that I restarted my phone, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
Wow, this is very annoying. All right. So how's everyone doing today?
Now it's like all day messages and everything are going through, and now fucking.
You trying to call? Where's probably going? You still got yourself on mute. Who you trying to call?
Trying to call fucking Burger. All right. We're gonna bullshit a little bit till these guys fucking get on here. So what's going on, folks? Bass, what the fuck happened to you earlier?
Oh man, that shit was annoying.
What?
So my package just came or whatever, right? So I told your wife, like, yo, when they come, let me know, and I'll run down and pick them up. So right before that, I got my check. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Went down to the bank, cashed my check, put my check in. And I'm getting to your house. I go inside, grab my packages, come back out. I'm looking at the back tire. I'm like, man, what the hell? You gotta be shit. So I'm sitting there, supposed to be at work at the time. I'm sitting there for 15 minutes trying to pump up this damn tire. Would not pump up.
What you got? What did you run over a nail or something? Aren't those
I have
decent?
no
Aren't they new tires?
idea. No, the back driver's side.
Well, was the spare in my garage?
No, because I had. Well, I don't know how good she looked for it, but somebody went down and looked for it and they didn't see it, and so it's probably in that pile in the backyard.
You're welcome. Come over and dig that shit out.
I got a plan for it. Like,
For-
well, first thing is I'm gonna need you to come grab me in the morning, like around 10 or 11 o'clock.
For what?
And then I'm gonna let me finish. I'm gonna see if your neighbor got that jack. I'm gonna jack the car up. I'm gonna take that back tire off. I'm gonna look at the wheel, see if there's a puncture or anything like in it like that.
Yep.
And then if there's a hole or something, if the rim's not cracked, I'm just gonna take the whole wheel to Walmart and get a tire put on.
Yeah, according to my messages here, the one I just sent in our group chat didn't go through.
I got it.
What the fuck? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I definitely got it. So that's my plan for tomorrow. Fucking horse shit, man. I was like, really?
See, this shit's getting me aggravated because I wanted these two to come on the fucking show. Hold on. Let me try fucking Facebook. Fucking.
I don't know if he uses that. You'd have to go to get to him. You'd have to go through Instagram.
No, I got it. He's on my. I got him. About to call his ass on Facebook.
You got both of them.
I got
See, today was a pain in the balls for me. Other than that, perfectly fine. I got my well, I got part of my new toys for my my boomstick. The rest of the upgrades will be here on Monday, I think it said. Yeah, she's gonna be a badass when I get there. It's gonna be looking like some straight Call of Duty shit when I'm done with it. Yeah. Wasn't bad either. I think all the parts cost me about $160. Something like that. All right, now let's say what's up to everybody in chat. What's going on, Mark, Stacy? Okay, I seen you. How you doing? Not Crystal, Yukon. What's going on, Adam? Wilcott, I know you're in there somewhere. Shell. Lewis Bear. Lorna. I should put my glasses on. I should though. Hound Dog. ORD3. I'm not too sure who that is. Well, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? I'm just making some phone calls. Dude, why do I get the feeling now like their fucking phones aren't even ringing? I really do. Like, I tried to call you. I tried to call you twice, and your fucking phone, like, your shit rang and then went to voicemail.
I told you I couldn't answer my shit. My shit wouldn't let me answer. I had to actually turn my phone off and restart it.
And that shit never happened to us before. See, he's doing the same thing to fucking Burger's phone. What the fuck? See, now I'm annoyed. It's not. I'm fucking annoyed.
Modern technology that just doesn't work right.
Nah, there's a lot of fishy shit going on, yo. Like fucking phones are acting up. Fucking, I get booted out of the stream like last week for showing a fucking video. Like, what the fuck? What's up, Foxtrot?
Yo.
Like, you
All
know
right,
what I
I
mean?
got
Like,
you. So, what's going on, Mike? Old religion.
but yeah, what the fuck's going on, man? That shit still says that message didn't go through.
Really?
I'm shitting you. I shit you not.
Don't show your screen.
I'm not. I'm gonna cover a bunch of it. All right. So, oh shit. The one between the second one down. You see that fucking empty circle right there? That means the message didn't go through. But the calls and everything else I've just made have gone through. Like the message from Will Cut went through. All that other shit. See that shit?
Call his actual cell phone.
Who?
Burger.
I did. What do you think I just tried to call?
Oh.
Hold on, now I gotta fix my camera. But you see, that shit still hasn't gone through. Every other message I've sent is going through. I'm scrolling down all the text messages I have in my fucking phone. And wait a minute, there it goes. Now, I think now it did. How long? Almost 10 minutes for that fucking message to go through. Let's see if they respond to it.
Well, I got it when you first sent it.
Oh, see, now it says he's active. Like, what the fuck's going on? I'm gonna try to call him again.
I can tell you.
What happened?
Now I'm looking at my Instagram. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. What are you talking about? It's not saying he's active on my shit.
What happened?
See, it's not saying he's active on mine.
It's saying he's active now on mine. All right, whatever. Yeah, we gonna bullshit for a little bit then until this.
Hopefully, one of these dudes pick up their damn phone or send a message back or something. Some form of contact.
Yeah. So you know what? For now, for the next little bit, open bar. What's going on? So we're gonna do this.
All right, now I got one for you.
Yeah.
Not a conspiracy or anything like that. It's a new movie that's coming out.
What?
Now, have you ever heard Bert Kreischer's story about when he was on the train?
Yeah. Yep.
They're making that into a movie.
Yeah, The Machine. Yeah, that's just gonna be awesome.
Yes.
I am the machine.
Oh, did you get a chance to check out the trailer for Nefarious?
What the hell is Nefarious?
That's the one I told you where the prisoners. I think is. From what I understand, it runs along the same line of kind of St. John Smith, where the devil is locked up in prison.
No, I've heard nothing about this.
Oh yeah, look it up. It's called Nefarious.
Yeah.
And I
Will Cut,
believe,
where you at? Hop in here, Will Cut.
and I believe the trailer for John Wick dropped too.
Oh, there's a vignette, behind the scenes like featurette that they popped up on
There you go.
Facebook. That shit, yo. Keanu Reeves does like 95% of his own stunts, like including the fucking driving in that movie, dude.
Hey, Keanu's a badass.
Yeah. So Will Cut, man, what do you think, man? You think they blocking our shit?
Oh yeah.
Like,
If
that shit is
your
crazy.
phone's having that much trouble, something fishy. Big time.
Like, this shit is crazy. Look, like, see, again, I sent them a message. This shit's saying accent.
Alright, look at your phone. See what time the message I sent you came through.
10:34.
Okay. It went right on through then.
Yeah. I don't get this. I don't get this. Whatever, man.
They don't want y'all talking.
Hold on. Oh, that was an alert from Reddit. Fuck. What? I mean, it's not like we got something to fucking. It's not like we're revealing some ultimate large, ground-shaking fucking secret. I don't get it.
That depends on which cousin you're talking to.
What?
So that depends on which cousin you're talking to.
Listen. I don't think
Right.
they're worried about. I don't think they're worried about 4 fucking guys from New York.
You don't know that.
This shit is stupid. Aren't these fucking text messages going through? Like, I got full service. Like,
I know I got service. How about Wi-Fi?
Try using your wife's cell phone.
that's just, I don't get this shit, dude. Well, all right, so where you at tonight, Wilco?
In Ohio, just left Columbus.
Okay.
On my way to Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why don't you stop over here in New York, dude?
Hold on.
Because I'll be going through Pennsylvania.
Yeah, stop over here in New York.
I will be tomorrow.
Oh, back in that same area where you usually go?
Like,
No.
legit, you can fucking shoot. Like, you can get into Connecticut. I think you would shoot right past like Orange County, wouldn't you?
South of you.
A little south.
I know it's basically right between you and New York City.
Like,
So I'm taking that high side around.
like,
I ain't
like-
rough on them.
So you taking like 87?
Yeah.
okay,
So you're gonna be down there
like,
like near Nyack,
yeah, Nyack or like
Westchester
fucking-
County.
yeah, Westchester County, close to Monroe Woodbury Commons.
I guess. Because this is the first time I've been to Connecticut.
What part of
25 years?
what part are they taking you to?
Stratford.
Stratford? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. I am going to Sikorsky, where they build the Blackhawks.
The Sean Ryan, Stephen Greer interview. You, Bear, you gotta be a little more specific, man. I watch so much stuff, dude. It came across one where he was talking about this woman. Stephen Greer was giving an interview. He was talking about this woman that was a part of, I guess, some autopsies from like in 1910 of some aliens or some shit. I like half listened to it because I kind of think Stephen Greer himself is full of shit, but like the people that he's brought on, like Clifford Stone, Robert Dean, that one cat that that went to that crash in South America, and you got the guys in the black uniform showed up and shit. I can't think of his name.
I know
I can't
exactly what you're
think of
talking about, but I don't think he's full of shit. I think when he first started out, he was genuine, but when you get into a position like that, the money starts coming in, and that money might have been a little bit too good. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Money
he might have caught that quote unquote UFO disease.
yeah, I was just gonna say that. Isn't that's what they said? What Bill Cooper actually suffered from. Like he got that UFO disease where every next thing had to be bigger and better, bigger and better, bigger and better. I mean, I had a copy of Behold a Pale Horse. That's a thick book. That's a thick book, and
ranges.
It's a good read. It was definitely a good read. There are a lot of documents in that book. You know, they offer some college courses on that book. Like, in some college courses, they discuss that book. I didn't know that shit. And there's actually a letter in there. I don't know. There's a letter.
Fringe courses.
There's a letter in that book, and it's apparently from like an archbishop in Los Angeles, and he was flown out to, along with, I think it was Eisenhower, to Muroc Air Force Base at the time. And when they got there, these craft landed, and the scientists said they were in a state of complete. In the note, the bishop said that the scientists were in a complete state of awe and panic, like their world had came to an end because they didn't know how this shit worked. And they got to walk around and observe it and everything, and then things took off. And he said, like, the finality of the situation is just grandiose or some wild shit like that. You gotta go look up this book, Behold a Pale Horse. There's a lot of interesting documentation in that book.
Well, they killed the man for a reason.
They offed him right before 9/11, right?
Yep.
Yeah. On his property, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a good book. If you have Kindle, look up. It costs $6.99, but where the hell is my Kindle at? It is called The Adam and Eve Story. The Adam and Eve Story: The History of Cataclysms, Uncensored Digital Version, Magnetic Pole Shifts by Chan Thompson. I think it was written in the 60s. Yeah, cross section of the earth, Adam and Eve story, great floods, the story, the event, Genesis, cataclysms. Yeah. The only reason I found that is because I was bored scrolling through TikTok last night, and some dude was talking about it. Supposedly, it was a book written by this guy, but the CIA deemed it too dangerous to release to the public. So they kept it on the wraps, and they just, like in the last few years or so, they released it. Now, a whole bunch of it is redacted, but there's still some good stuff in there. It'll cost you, if you have Amazon, it'll cost you $6.99 for the Kindle. Oh, yeah, there you go. Angels and UFOs, Jesus and Cataclysms, Jesus' History, Evolution. Like,
no, I got one for you. And matter of fact, while we're talking about books, I was talking about. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it seemed like somebody was talking about that on TikTok.
Yeah, yep. A History of Cataclysms, the Adam and Eve story.
So, while we're on books for a minute here, right? This one is one you want to read. Dark Mission. I'm not inverting my camera. Fuck it. Dark Mission: The Secret History of NASA. Written by Richard C. Hoagland. Dude, this is a lot of stuff, a lot of information about the occult side of NASA and its ties to the Nazis and everything else like that. This is a really good book to read. Now we're speaking of books. I was talking to Bass about this set of books I have. Now I have a buddy of mine that goes to he goes to like yard sales and shit, and he buys stuff, and he if it's good, he'll buy it and then he'll sell it on eBay. He makes some good money doing that shit. So he was at this one sale. It was at this one dude's house. It was at this like old guy's house who had died and shit. And he said, "Yo, the house is kind of weird." The guy had like weird mounds in his backyard and shit. And like he said it was kind of off. But he was like, "Yo, come out." He told me to go out to his car. I went out to his car when we were at work, and he handed me a bunch of books. And he was like, "Yo, I found these at this guy's house." He's like, yo, I thought of you, and did you want them? I was like, hell yeah. It's pretty much a fucking encyclopedia of these books. I'll show them to you in a second. So I start leafing through these books, and there's earmarks in some of these books, right? And let's see, let's pick one out here. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this series. I never heard of it before, but it's called Mysteries of Mind and Space Time and the Unexplained. And let me see when this shit was published. Publishing date. 1992. Oh, damn. It's got some age to it. Okay. So I was leafing through some of these books, and whoever this guy was, I have reason to believe he had some peculiar interests, and he might have been tied into some shit. Because who's ordering Domino's?
No, I just clicked the video and the damn Domino's commercial came up. Like
earmarks on USOs, earmarks on satanic UFOs, earmarks on dimensional portals, like all kinds of wild shit are earmarked. Like it's all earmarked in these books. And then he gave me this fucking thing too. This is heavy. It's the Holzer Ghosts Guide, I guess. Okay. Holzer, True Encounters with the World Beyond. Right? You guys see that tag sitting in there? I didn't notice this shit until I started looking at it the other day because I haven't looked at this book. But when you open this shit up, it opens up to a chapter about doppelgangers. Like, I'm pretty sure my buddy said the guy was German. But like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. I'm gonna have.
How many books are in the collection?
I have in this collection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've got 21 books in that mysterious space-time series. Yeah, like...
And every book is about something different, or...
Every book's about something different. but every book has an earmark in something, and it's regarding, and like I said, it regards UFOs, satanic UFOs, dimensional portals, like alien encounters. Fucking
Basically,
weird.
it breaks down everything by category.
Yeah, it does.
Like, is there a book on cryptids?
Shit, I don't know. I haven't gone. Like I said, I haven't gone through these shits. I'm going to have to though.
Does it tell you how to summon Beetlejuice?
Like this one, I just opened up to this one right here. It says the closest encounter ever. It talks about. Talks about alleged features about a young Brazilian farmer who was allegedly abducted by humanoids for the startling purpose to have sex with a being from another planet, as if he was a good stallion and would improve their stock. Like, the Antonio Villalobos encounter. You guys ever heard of that one?
No.
Yeah. It's took close encounter of the third kind in San Francisco de Sales, Brazil, October 15th, 1957. Antonio Villalobos, his remarkable experience was at first concealed by UFO researchers because they considered it too wild. So I remember this guy was out in the field and he was abducted and shit, and they wanted him to procreate with a female extraterrestrial. What's this one? Let's see. I'm telling you, some of these shits are wild. Like, boom, another earmark. Gateway to other worlds. Like, what the hell?
What the hell was that guy into?
I don't know, man.
It could have been just see, now with that, I'm wondering if it was just a fascination, or was he involved in something?
No, Tom said the house was really sketchy. The guy was German, and this isn't the only shit this guy had at his house. Tom said the guy had like a bunch of magazines and documents and shit, but it all got wet and molded out.
Damn.
Like he had folders full of documents and shit.
Oh,
how old was the guy?
He said the guy when he died, he must have been in his 70s.
Okay, when did he die?
I got these books from Tom. Last year or so. Yeah, last year.
Okay.
But
said the guy was in the 70s.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start.
That was in the 70s. I'm just, don't mind me. I'm just trying to do the math on something.
He was born in the 50s.
If he's born in the 50s, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, he was in his
50s.
70s. I don't know how old in his 70s he was.
Okay.
He could have been 70. He could have been 79. I don't know.
Okay.
And
now, you thinking what I'm thinking, Bass?
No.
If he was involved in a certain situation.
Tom, my buddy.
Yeah, grew up in a certain other country besides Germany. But spoke German.
My buddy and my
Well, at least his parents was.
Pete was with him that day. And Pete will tell you that house was really fucking weird. He's like, yo, there's these like these weird mounds in the backyard. He's like, they're pretty big. And he
Probably
said
had shit buried in his backyard.
He said he didn't fuck with them. And he said they walked back there, looked around, was like, yeah, those look mad sketchy. And they didn't fuck with them. They just went through, rummaged through the house. and they found these books.
Oh, I would have loved to see what those documents were.
I'm about to start. I think he goes on like Sundays and shit. Like when it's nice out, I might start going with him on Sundays and seeing what I can find. Because that's how people find all these cool old documents and shit. Some of these old guys that just have this shit laying around in their houses. You never know what you're gonna come across. Like, you know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna come across. And not to mention, he's making some decent money off of fucking eBay, man. He fucking 36,000 in the last 6 months.
Dude, you find one of those estate sales. There you go.
Hey. But yeah, I'm gonna go through these books. I started looking at the other ones that dealt with the USOs, which I've always found that topic fascinating. Unidentified submerged objects. Now, if you guys have seen, I'm sure you guys have seen The Abyss, right?
Yep.
Classic.
Now,
good movie.
Now, like I said, we don't know what the hell is down there, because the ocean's never been explored. Like, apparently, we know more about outer space than we do about our oceans. I mean, hell, and you know what? Again, Buzz Aldrin comes across my purview, and it's the video of him talking about how they never went to the moon. Like, you know, when he did that interview with that little girl, and she's like, "Can you explain to me why we've never gone back to the moon?" And he looks at her dead in her face, and he's like, "That's not a question for you to be asking. That's a question for me to be asking." He's like, why did we never go back? And then he said, "It's because we never went." And he said this shit numerous times.
Oh,
Dude, you've never heard him say that?
nope.
Nope. And there's an interview. He got interviewed by this guy who had a fucking
and he punched him in the face.
A video out of one of the shuttles, shuttles, and he showed it to Buzz, and Buzz was like, "Yo, you want me to react to this like on camera, like now?" And dude was like, "Yeah." So he ambushed him, showed him the shit, and was like, "Yo, how do you explain this?" And Buzz was like, "Yo, I don't know, man. I'm not the one to be asking that shit." They got out the lobby and fucking Buzz decked him, hit him right in the chops.
And you know Buzz had that old man strength too, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's all forearm behind that.
Your shit is mad sketch. But
well, first off, I personally believe that we didn't have. I personally believe we didn't have the technology to get there. And if we did have the technology with those bullshit foil and whatnot, why haven't we been back?
This thing I'm holding in my hand right now has more computing technology than the shit they sent these astronauts up to the moon with.
All of them combined.
Yep. All of those ships combined. This has more computing technology, more computing power than those ships. Now.
Because originally, what was it, like 16-bit?
Yep. Now, you clowns are gonna sit here and lie to the people, lie to the general human populace that we don't have the technology to go back to the moon, and we haven't had the technology to go back to the moon. But meanwhile, I'm sitting here with something that I can fucking throw up against the wall and break right now and go get another one that has more computing power in it than you sent these fucking astronauts up to the moon with. How does that make any sense? You guys, they funnel off billions and trillions of fucking dollars, and we can't go back to the moon, but I can hold this in my hand. What the hell did I just do?
It's easy to say why they did it.
Oh, because they wanted to be.
War.
Yeah, they wanted to be Russia.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a campaign, wasn't it? Now,
Like,
I just
no, personally, listen. Okay, all
yeah.
right. So I have a theory. We
Let me
didn't
see.
go there when they said we went there. We just did that shit for all the glitz and glamour, saying we got there first. Yada yada yada. We didn't get there like that. But I do believe we have been there.
Yeah.
With the technology we've come across in like the last 30, 40 years since 1980, I want to say we have been there. Like, look at all the money that goes missing. They're doing this. I don't want to say what I think they're doing with it, but yeah, dude, I personally believe that we have been back there, but it hasn't been quote unquote the
Well,
the United States government that has been back there. There's been some of these private companies like Halliburton, Bechtel, like companies like that.
well,
Bigelow.
you remember in like this is before YouTube was big. Remember when we used to go on those conspiracy websites? Do you remember that video that was apparently the astronauts walking through those giant buildings on the moon?
Oh yeah, what looks like a freaking looks like a
The
factory.
a transport like a fucking transport area, a factory or some shit. You know you can't find that on it. You can't find that anymore.
I bet. I wouldn't doubt it.
Same thing. I can't find that Glimmerman video anymore either.
Oh.
You know,
Oh,
you know Wilka, you know what Glimmerman video I'm talking about?
Yeah, you basically talk about it like a Bigfoot cloaking.
No, well,
nah,
I don't
that's
know. I don't know
Mars.
what the hell this was. But all right, I'll describe it. In the earliest 2000s, there was a video that started circulating. This couple was walking through the woods, and they were videotaping and shit. And the wife was like, "Yo, do you see that?" And the husband panned over the camera, and you could see what looked like the damn predator, like moving slowly through the woods.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Yo, what the hell was that?" Right. So they walk off a little bit, and I'd say maybe about 20, 25 yards in front of them, in front of them on the trail. They see this silhouette thing shimmering and looking towards their direction, and then the fucking thing crouches down, like in a position, like a fucking offensive position, like it's gonna pounce. It growls and then takes off running after them. You can see it. It takes off like fucking sprinting, and they take off and they drop the camera.
Yeah.
Now that video resurfaced a couple of years ago, but it's gone again.
Oh, that's like the videos.
Didn't someone have it on TikTok a while back?
Yeah, I think it did come up on TikTok because that's where I seen it at. And it was
But that one's
video you were talking
old.
about.
That's
The
old.
videos that I've been looking for is, if you remember that kid that was in Australia. He
Yes,
was in Australia and he had the aliens in his backyard, like
Mhm.
on a regular basis, and he walked that like he was catching them on camera. They were shining beams in his house. He actually ran down there one time. Well, I don't want to say ran. He went down there one time to like go look around, and when he just tried to snatch him. What was his name? I know you know who I'm talking about. Like, dude, he probably had like 20 videos of just interactions with these things. Like he had lights in his backyard, seeing alien grays move around, like lights coming in his house. I think he said they killed his cat too. Yeah, I think they said they killed his cat. But dude, those were the good old days of YouTube when it wasn't censored. You could actually like get some real stuff.
Yeah.
Now like those, there's a whole bunch of videos that I remember. like different reports and shit, different like conspiracy websites that used to be on there, like different YouTube channels that used to be on here that got amps grade. Not because the person wasn't putting up content, because they were deep diving and deep diving and shit.
They were
Look at what
pushing the
happened with,
wrong buttons.
Yep, look what happened to Secure Team 10. He was ghosted for a little bit. I don't know. I'm not too sure if he's back yet, but I know he was gone for a while. Who else? You don't really hear much from. There's a few people. Oh, you don't hear much from the. Truth, what was that Utah UFO investigator that said he was out at the test range out there?
He was out near Dugway, and that green beam shot up.
Yep, that green beam shot up, and he posted pictures on his website and shit like that, and he actually got threatened to take it down.
Yeah,
he was out there at Dugway one day, and freaking car rolled up on him.
Was it called? Was he called Utah Dave? Utah Dave.
I'm not sure. He had like a whole website and everything. And like while he was out at Dugway doing some investigations, some guys and that good old. The way he described the car was, if you ever seen the Men in Black movie, that first Ford that they got, that all black one, he said they pulled up in a car like that.
Ford LTV.
They pulled up in a car like that, and this was early 2000s. Yep, there you go. Secure Team is back. Yes, third phase of the moon was great.
For a while there, wasn't there some controversy with third phase? I mean, I still subscribe. I'm still subscribed to their channel, but wasn't there like a beef somebody had with them or some shit? But no, not worried about it. They do come out with some good videos. Some of them I look at, I'm like, yeah, that's not legit. But then again, that's my opinion. I mean, they're just putting the information, they're putting stuff out there so you can determine for yourself.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Crown Vic. I think it was an LTD. It was like the old school police cars.
They're
all black with a little bit of chrome on it.
Like a Ford Falcon.
Yeah. I definitely think it was an LTD because the Crown Vics were like the civilian version of that shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, not that one. I gotta go back and look at the first year that the Crown Vics came out to see what they look like. What I'm talking about, like, if you've seen the Men in Black movie, that black car they're driving in, where he tells them don't hit the button and he makes them hit the button, that shit right there, that Ford, I think that's an LTD. That's what these guys pulled up on this guy in out in Utah at Dugway. That's the same kind of, if I'm not mistaken,
pretty sure
that's the same kind of vehicle that Dan Aykroyd seen in the middle of Manhattan on the side of the road when the show got canceled.
Alien Dave, that's what it was. Yep, his name was Alien Dave. That's look him up. He's the one that had that. Hold on, I gotta put my glasses on. I haven't seen his fucking website.
Not true. The Men in Black that Dan Aykroyd saw, they were in a Ford LTD, like the regular.
Yep. Yes, they were.
Now, Bass, was it you or Sean that sent me that one TikTok about the guy talking about being in an underground installation?
I think I sent that to you. The trucker?
Working with a Nephilim?
Oh, no. Yeah, I sent that to you. Yep. Working with the Nephilim.
Yeah. Where they weren't allowed to say the word, say Jesus Christ or all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I sent that to you.
Now,
actually, I did send that to you.
Bass.
Yo.
Do you remember That video Dave Wilcutt's talking about. Do you remember the name of the...
You're breaking up there. I couldn't hear what you just said.
Do you remember like that video that you sent? Because I came across the same one. I know exactly what video you're talking about.
Okay.
It was a chubby bald guy sitting there giving an interview, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the name that he mentions, do you remember what that name? Do you remember that name, Bass?
Dude, not off the top of my head, because when I seen this shit,
Greg. He said Greg Ring something. Greg R, something R. Something was R.
Hold on, just give me a minute. I'm gonna put myself on mute because I know a video's about this play. Because I know I sent it to Dave. I'll just bring it back up.
So, remember that show we used to listen to? The Edge. He used to be. He was on that show.
Oh, The Edge with Daniel Ott.
Lieutenant Colonel SC.
Yeah. Yo, I used to love that. I used to love that show till he kind of went very sideways.
He showed his fucking colors.
he went very. You know, dude. He still does a show. He's on YouTube.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. Yeah, when Obama got elected, he got a little hotter on the collar and shit. And he had said some shit during during one of his shows, and I just stopped listening to him after that. It wasn't because it was just a dick thing to say.
Now, what drew me into his show was
slapped Obama in the back of his nappy head. What,
like,
motherfucker?
I know it's a bullshit story now, but it was very interesting when it was going on. The James Casbolt story.
Yeah, that shit. Oh, that shit was so convoluted and like.
I know, but
trickery.
It was before you actually realized that he was bullshitting. Like it made sense. Like it sounded good. That's why I was listening every week.
Yep, the James Casbolt story. That Hannah Billups shit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Hannah Billups. Yep.
All right, so
that was a good one.
Apparently, no, I'm not even gonna get into that. That was a wild.
No, go ahead, man.
Story. All right, so like I said, me and Baz have been into this shit for quite a while, and there was a show we used to listen to, and this guy used to talk about. He did an interview with this woman named Hannah Billups. And Hannah Billups apparently was able to. She was like she lived in the South and shit, and on top of a mountain, she was able to like remote view, and she had remote viewed a child in a cage in an underground facility, and like the child was begging for help and shit, and she called the authorities about it. So they show up. These government guys show up in suits and shit, and they start asking her some weird questions about what she saw, like the describe and everything like that. And they give her some documents to read and like a tape to listen to. So she looks at the documents, reads the tape, and she's like, "Yo, I want nothing to do with this shit." They come to her house and get her. Like this woman's husband calls in, is like, "Yo, they came up here, they grabbed her. I don't know where the fuck she is." Blah blah blah. And the story goes that they grabbed her and they took her to one of these underground facilities, and they wanted to use her ability and shit, and she just wouldn't do it. So they locked her away for a while, and she was locked up in cages next to like kids and other adults and shit like that. And you could hear them like you just hear the moans and the screaming and crying. And she said that a few of these kids were eaten by giant fucking lizards. Like the story was really crazy. Like if you type in type in Hannah Billups and you'll find that shit. Let me see. So
in other words, she was in that base there underneath Dulce.
That's pretty much what she thought it was. She was down there in Dulce.
But you know what? It could. Shit, man. It could be somewhere else. You never know. Where the hell is this video? Oh, no, that was yo, Will Cut.
Yeah.
What do you think of the video of the dude who walked down? He walked out of his door, stepped down the step, and fell down that hole. Fell down the other hole by the basement.
Man, I bet he's in there thinking, "Oh shit, I'm going to my grave."
Dude, he probably fell.
When I saw him slipping, I'm like, "Where the hell did he go?"
Dude, between slipping down the steps and falling down that hole, he probably fell about 10 feet.
Oh yeah.
And got up and walked off like it was nothing. Nah,
Yeah.
I went back in the house, man. That was a done deal. Nope, that's not it. Police call for friends using Ouija board. Nope, that's not it.
Spidey didn't sound like Aunt Bunny going down the steps. Oh look, I'm halfway down now.
All right, so I found a little thing on Hannah Billups. When I tell you this shit is old, man, it is old. It's 2006. So the 2006 abduction of Hannah Billups, or the abduction of Hannah Billups, or the depopulation of Shell. I'll check that in a second. The depopulation of Earth. Hannah Billups believes she has special gifts given her God to allow her to see people, places, and events through visions. One day she had a vision of a beautiful little girl that was in desperate trouble and needed help. So she got on the telephone and called the Federal Bureau of Investigation and related her vision and gave them all the information that she had gathered. The date of her phone call was Saturday, May 13th, 2006. The next day, Sunday, she had visitors in her kitchen. It's important to note that Hannah lives in a very rural location and her home is on the top of a mountain in the Appalachians in West Virginia. She was in the middle of canning vegetables when the FBI came. She was surprised that she didn't hear the FBI come up the mountain because she had guard dogs and they didn't work. She admits though that her favorite dog, her best dog, had died only a week before, and because of her isolation, Hannah and her family also had 3 shotguns and an AK-47 for defense. Monday, she was visited by different people, and they were not from the FBI, and they left her a Stargate manual and 6 CDs. They returned the next day, and after restraining her husband and son, kidnapped her. Hannah relates that she was taken from her home, led down the mountain to a waiting vehicle, which she voluntarily entered. She describes the vehicle as a pretty white car. Soon after entering, she began to feel drowsy. This was strange because it was only 4 p.m. in the afternoon. She believes she may have been drugged. She fell asleep and remembers hearing sounds like whooshing and whirling. At some point, she claims to have boarded a train, but these train cars were different because they were equipped with shackles. Now, have you guys ever heard of that shit before? Because I have. Those train cars with the shackles in them. I've heard of that shit before. I've seen those videos. So, as she remembers the experience of being bound by the wrists, she unconsciously rubs her forearms. She believes the train traveled at high speeds and acknowledges that it vibrated normally. Bash, you gotta turn whatever you're watching. Turn that shit down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The next thing she remembers. The next thing she remembers is lying.
Still on mute.
The next thing she remembers is lying on a steel table with a creature with large black eyes staring down at her. She also remembers a large needle and its pressure as its point punctures her stomach. She believes she is in an underground city where aliens are very real. She says that there are 2 types of aliens. The first look like a lizard, and the second looks like a typical ray. Hannah describes where she is being held as being an internment camp. She is constantly guarded by human-looking guards, but she notes it's strange because she knows they are not normal. Hannah claims that she was kept in an area of underground cities, shopping centers, and big elaborate homes. She even claims to have seen a pyramid with an all-seeing eye. All this time, she was thinking that she wants to go home and can of vegetables. Right. Hannah realized that she was very special since early childhood. She would go to sleep in her bed and would awake hours later, miles away in a field. She also experienced missing time. Initially, she discovered that the only way to survive her imprisonment was to show no fear, and that's exactly what she did. She was not a combatant, but she was also not subservient and earned the respect of at least one grave. She estimates that she spent a total of 2 days as captive. Hannah claims that the New World Order is ready to clean us out. Uh, Hannah was rescued by her husband, Mark Billups, who located her whereabouts with the help of information provided by one of their children that had a vision. He was ex-military and also a pilot, and with two friends helped free her. I think that's part of the bullshit. But after hiding their aircraft, they made their way through several fields, inching their way on hands and knees. Through telepathy, she communicated her position with her son Chris, who she believes is a star child. You guys heard of this shit before? Star children, star seeds.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hannah claims she heard her husband's thoughts as he drew close and told one of the graves that she needed to go outside to get a breath of fresh air. Apparently, she was escorted to the door and then ran out and met her husband. Prior to her rescue, Hannah saw plans, blueprints, and blueprints of the internment camp, and more. She decided to liberate this material, which consisted of 96 pages of material and other things. She rolled up the data and hid it in her petticoat under her dress. Her dress was long because she explained she was a country girl. Hannah believes that the New World Order is working with the aliens and is responsible for the creation of the underground bases and internment camps. According to Hannah, the aliens seem to work for and report to humans. The aliens are taking people that have special powers and threatening those that will not use their special gifts to aid them. She claims that those that do not cooperate are brutally beaten or killed. She claims that the aliens are concerned with the so-called indigo children, which she refers to as star children. She believes it is her job to awaken, reach New Age followers, see that whole New Age shit, and convinced that these star children are God's children. She's convinced that the world is coming to its final hour. Hannah and her family are currently hiding in an undisclosed location, and as Hannah puts it, her life has been turned upside down. She continues to have visions and knows that she has been chosen to do works of JC. She reminds us that everyone has a mission and that God will reveal it in 5 hours. Some of Hannah's predictions. So you guys ready for her predictions? All right, let's go. Number 1. Now remember, this is from 2006. Photo IDs scheduled to go into use in 2008 will incorporate special DNA chips hidden below the actual photo. Number 2, the New World Order is building train cars equipped with shackles and internment camps and underground bases, which that's true. The New World Order is actively searching for people that can foresee the future or have the ability to heal by touch. I don't know. Hannah claims that the entire alien abduction phenomenon exists for the sole purpose of identifying humans carrying DNA specific to the Greys. I can go with that.
Yeah.
Hannah had a vision of an earthquake where she saw the United States split in two and the entire West Coast just slid into the ocean. So you guys out in California, you got some shit coming your way. Right?
Well, they've been predicting that for years.
Okay. Hey, drink here. Now, Hannah was orphaned when her parents were killed in a car accident. She was adopted by a childless couple that loved and raised her. Today, she is married and is the mother of 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. Immediately after being rescued, Hannah's husband took her to a hospital where she was temporarily treated for trauma. I have listened to Hannah's interviews and spoke several times to Don Nikoloff regarding her experiences. I find that Hannah seems to express herself with the praise the Lord platitudes, and everything is either good or evil. It's not your classic UFO case. This is not your classic UFO abduction case, as you have read. There are no UFOs, only graves, reptilians, underground bases, internment camps, and maniacal crypt manacle-equipped railway cars. Her story is strikingly familiar to the story of Philip Snyder. As you know, he was either murdered or committed while lecturing to audiences about the dangers of the NWO and FEMA. Yeah, so that's the story of Hannah Billups. That's from 2006. That shit, yo.
You know what? That makes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. When we look, I listened. When she gave her interviews, I was listening to those shits live, and you would have swore, yo. I know it sounds like a bunch of. I know it kind of sounds like. That sounds like a plot to a bad fucking C movie, but when she was telling that shit, dude, like you can, like I said,
you can hear the emotion in her voice.
Yeah, like I said, when I do interviews with people, I I can look at their voice. I can hear shit in their voice. You can tell in their voice if they're telling the truth and the emotions that they go through when they're talking about it. And you can tell when she was doing that, it sounded like her ass had been put through the ringer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can probably go back. You can probably go back and find those interviews online. Just type in like Hannah Billups 2006 Hannah Billups, and it's some pretty wild shit. Now, some of the stuff might not be true, but some of that stuff she talked about was true. Because, listen, Jesse Ventura, his show got canceled for talking about some of that shit.
Yep.
Jesse got canceled. When Jesse got canceled, that was after Jesse had found those black plastic coffins and shit lined up everywhere. Because they saw that shit, they video recorded it, and then they went back and it was gone like 2 days later. And they started talking about the rail cars and everything like that. Like, I remember them talking about that shit in like the early 2000s. And there's videos of that stuff. They looked abandoned, but you'd walk into them and it's like double-decker train. Like, they were trying to say, oh, these train cars are just for transporting vehicles across country. Bullshit. Because there's videos of people have videos of these shits, and they will put them on these conspiracy websites where you can't find these fucking sites anymore. But they would put them on there. They'd walk up to these double-decker fucking train cars, and they look at them, and you'd see there'd be rows of benches down each side. And where? In the middle of that shit? In the middle. Every like 3 or 4 feet, there was like a hook in the floor. And there were fucking shackles in there. All that shit's real. Yeah, that's why I think you can't find any decent, good conspiracy websites anymore. Because, like I said, me and Bass came across all these websites and shit in the early 2000s. Those things don't exist now. Like, to get the kind of information that we are finding in, say, like from like 2004 through like 2007, you got to go out. You got to be on the dark web to find that shit now.
Yep.
You can't find that information no more.
All right. So
but the black coffin deal, I don't buy it.
What happened?
Now
those black coffins?
Yeah, that's bullshit. I used to pick those up. Those are actually just floats for docks that's being built around the world. All new piers and everything, that's all it is. Because if they're going to do a mass killing of people, why would they use them? They just throw you in the ground in a mass grave.
Yep.
So much of a waste of time.
I remember there was tales about there was guillotines at the.
You don't want to pollute. You don't want to pollute. You don't want to pollute the land you're trying to steal. What you're doing any fucking way.
Well, they've already done that with that train derailment.
Oh, did you hear about the Sean G sent me the shit. There was a small white plane that dropped white powder out of it in West Virginia. Are you trying to make fucking Cocaine Bear a real thing? Like,
I don't know, but I don't know about that. But I've been seeing videos.
Cocaine hillbilly.
I've been seeing videos with people dealing with acid rain because of that shit. Like this one dude, like he went out to his truck. He was like, "Yeah, this I don't know what this snow is, but this water isn't what it's supposed to be. Like this shit, whatever it is so toxic. It was peeling off the clean coat of his truck.
Yeah, that's definitely acid.
Like he was just chipping it off. It looked like pieces of ice, but he's like, nah, this isn't ice. And he took it off and then bent like a piece of clear coat that like comes off or something. He said, this is the clear coat off my truck. And I mean, like he could have took he could have took a butter knife and basically scraped the clear coat off of his truck.
Illuminati. Yes, I've seen this video before. I don't know what the hell grabbed these two guys. All right. I will bring it up. I don't want to fucking get flagged for showing something on somebody else's channel. But all right, Bass, you ever come across that video? It was recorded in Russia, and it's two guys are like standing outside a building, and it's near water or whatever, and they see something.
Yeah, and then like kind of reaches and grabs one dude.
It drags one dude off. The other dude goes.
He goes flying or something like that.
Yeah, it comes out of the water, drags one dude.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I've seen that one before. It's very interesting. Because you know what that reminds me of? That video reminds me of the one that came out, I want to say like a month or two ago, where the dude was walking down the street and somebody was walking up trying to rob him, and that big ass black spear came out from underneath him. And basically attacked the guy who was attacking him. That's what that video reminds me of.
Yeah, whenever who was holding the camera went over to where the attack happened, looked down the street. Guy was gone. For the spirit.
See, we showed that a while back. I had some questions about that video. Did the guy who was attacking the dude, did he not see this thing at first? Because, like I said, he took a couple steps towards it after it popped out of this guy. Like, if
it might have been one of those things where you can only see it on camera.
Because he didn't back up until it touched him. Oh.
Like I said, it might have been one of those things where you only catch on camera. Like you might not see it with your naked eye, but through all the lenses and stuff that's in the camera, you're able to catch it. Or the lenses and refractions and stuff like that, you might be able to catch it.
Plus the position he was in and where the light is compared to the camera. The camera could see it, but not him, because the light was in a different area to him.
Yes, man.
It probably looked like steam to him, like a guy just got out of a hot shower.
It might have been like a mist or something.
Yeah.
So he might not have thought anything of it. Like, it's just a mist behind this guy. Give me your wallet.
All right, so I want to bring up a little thing here. I want to know what you guys think about this shit. All right, 1998. But I think it took place, whatever it was, took place before this. Yes. Remember the McPherson tape?
Yes.
Wilcott, you ever heard of McPherson tape?
I think I've heard it.
All right, so for you guys that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, all right, so the apparent McPherson tape. There was a family that was recording. I believe it was a Christmas party or a birthday party. One or the other.
Christmas party.
and they're all there. It's mother. The father wasn't. The father's dead. So his mother, two sons, a daughter, the daughter's boyfriend, and a little girl and some other shit. Oh, Wedge, you saw both versions? Okay. So Wedge knows what I'm talking about. Now, they're all having this party. They're having this get together and shit. And yeah, see the first one, yes. The second one was definitely actors.
Yeah, because I remember those guys from freaking sci-fi movies, and I didn't the whole whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but the first one was legit.
Yeah,
I think it was legit.
So what happened with the McPherson tape, right? Is they're celebrating this, they're having this party, it's a family get together and shit, and then their lights go out, and they go out and they go outside to like look around the transformer and shit, and the transformer's fine, but off in the distance they see this glow coming out of the woods. So the brother, actually there was three brothers. The little brother, the older brother, and the middle brother. The little brother was video recording this whole shit. So they decide, the older brother and the little brother decide they're gonna go look and see if it was a plane crash that might have did this shit. So hold on, let me bring it up.
Was this up in Canada? And there was snow on the ground?
I don't think it was in Canada. But hold on, let me bring this shit up. Share screen. All right. So the brothers go down. They go to the wood line and they start looking for what's causing this light down there. And they get a little bit closer and they see it's a craft that's landed in the middle of the woods, and there's beings down there walking around, and it looks like they're taking fucking soil samples and shit. Right? I believe one of the brothers makes a noise, and these things like take a red laser type deal and like flash it up there and hits one of them with it, and it fucks one of them up for a little bit. They go running back to the house, and then from that point on, the rest of the video footage is them being pretty much under siege by these weird looking beings that they saw down at this ravine. And the things get into the house, and then the video ends with the beings walking into. They slowly start abducting everybody. Slowly start taking everybody out.
Oh, but you're missing the one part where they supposedly quote unquote killed one and had it upstairs.
Yeah, and it wasn't dead.
Dead on the floor, but it wasn't dead. They hit it with a shotgun and everything, but it wasn't dead.
Yeah. So at the end of this, like it's camcorder video, like 1980s, 1990s handheld, like big VHS camera.
Big shits that sit on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That everybody had recording special moments.
So at the end, before the video cuts off, you see that it's 3 or 4 of these beings walking into the house, into the dining room area. And one of them stops, and apparently waves at the camera, and the fucking camera dies and shit. Apparently this family's never been seen again, from what I gather. But if you look it up, you'll probably only find the one that they put on, I think it was on Fox. The remake of that shit, where it had like the edits and the actors and like everything like that. But it's still very compelling because they pretty much redo what's completely in that video, and they take excerpts from the real video and put it into that show. Yeah, like in the remake, Keith, the black boyfriend. I was like, I recognize that fucking guy. And then the older brother, he was in
Yeah, I
episode.
recognize him too.
The older brother, he's an actor. He's in an episode of Supernatural. Like, yeah. So that shit is definitely, you can tell there was actors in there. The original though, when they start airing that, when they put the little excerpts and the video clips of the original in there, you're like, yo, those people were going through some shit that night. And
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, the beings, they were like, they had a blue tint to them. They didn't look like grays. They had a blue tint to them, and they were wearing black outfits.
Yep.
So, blue ones, aren't those the Arcturians or some shit like that? I don't know. But go and watch that video. Yeah, I think you guys will. It's a nice little watch. You probably won't be able to find the original. Because like I said, you can't find any of the good shit anymore.
That.
But yeah.
I remember watching that for the first time. Like, holy shit! Even the remake that they did, I was like, holy shit!
I mean, not for nothing. Fox used to do their thing with with those documentaries. They used to have the UFOs caught on tape one that the captain from fucking Star Trek used to host. They had a bunch of different UFO shows. They had the alien autopsy joint.
It wasn't Patrick. It was the other guy who was after Patrick, I think.
I can't think of his name.
I can't think of it either.
Oh, you're talking about crap. Number one.
Exactly. No, it was Patrick Stewart. Then it was the guy right after when Patrick Stewart was like the main guy, he was like
Patrick Stewart's
co-captain.
number 2.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart was number 2. Then he became the lead.
Why can't
Yeah, the guy with the beard.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's also the one you see in all those memes and shit like that. With Patrick.
He also he hosted I believe he hosted, was it not Ripley's Believe It or Not. He hosted one of those shows where they talk about people Believe It or Not show, where they tell two stories, and at the end they ask you, was it true or was it fake? What the fuck was his name?
Yeah.
It's driving me crazy now. God damn, man.
Was it William?
Did I just get booted? Oh. I'm sorry, what was that? Jason Franks. Thank you, Wedge. Thank you. That shit was going to drive me crazy. Jonathan Franks. Sorry. Go to DuckDuckGo for the video. I mean, I've been finding that DuckDuckGo has you can find some decent stuff. Like if you go on Google, right, and you type in the Montauk Project, all you're gonna get is references to fucking Stranger Things. That's all you're gonna get for like the first 60 pages, I guess. But if you go on DuckDuckGo, you can find stuff easier, but you're not gonna find everything you want.
Dude, think about all the old good Montauk stuff we used to come across, like Preston Nichols, like all those interviews he did, like everything just talking about. You can't find none of that stuff now. I remember another great site that did interviews. They were together at one point, but then they split off. It was Project Camelot.
She's still around. She still does.
I know,
interviews.
but the other guy, he went off. He's doing his own thing.
Carrie Cassidy still does Project Camelot, and Bill Ryan does Project Avalon. I think that's the name of his project.
But when they were together, they were doing amazing stuff. Like, I mean, like, they interviewed Linda Moulton Howe a whole bunch of times. Supposedly they got an interview with oh shit, Truth, what's that guy's name? They locked him in prison. You supposedly had Dulce. Also, they went and interviewed him in jail.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. They did a decent interview about the. See, like when I say me and Bass been in this shit for. Do you guys remember the whole Gulf of Aden thing?
Probably not. I remember that.
You remember that, Bass, right? Bilka, did you ever hear that? The Gulf of Aden?
It sounds familiar.
So this is, like I said, this is in the earliest 2000s. There was a huge, tons of reports apparently in the black community. I guess it would be not like the dark community. You know what I'm talking about? Fucking
the
secret shit. Yeah, the secret shit. That a huge portal had opened up in the Gulf of Aden, which is in like the Middle East somewhere, and that there was a bunch of warships and shit surrounding that area. And sure enough, when you went and looked it up and you went and tracked down like the ships and everything that were over there, there was a bunch of fucking different countries with warships pointed like in this area surrounding this entire area and shit.
It was just like what happened when all the countries were called down to Antarctica a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put all their bullshit aside and went and focused on one thing.
Yep.
So don't say it can't be done.
Yep, the Gulf of Aden. Didn't they
something Richard. No, something Richards. The guy's last name was Richards.
I just know that he went by Captain Richards.
Yeah, Captain Richards. That was him.
Yeah.
Like supposedly he worked in a off-world, like he was like an off-world security officer or some shit like that, and he was also involved in Dulce Base, and they
Shell's got it. Captain Mark Richards.
Yes.
See, I love having people that know what the fuck we're talking about. I love you guys.
That guy. I don't know how true his story is, but that was a very interesting story.
So see that when people know exactly what we're talking about, we don't sound as fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Because other people have heard of this shit.
I don't give a shit, man. Dude, I walk like I told you. I walk around with an alien on my back. I don't care.
I mean, shit, I got an alien abduction scene tattooed on my arm, so
You'd
go
be
with
surprised. You'd be surprised how many people be like, yo, I like your hoodie.
So, the interviews that they did that I found that I liked the most were the ones with Robert
Howell on a few times.
No, the ones with Robert Dean.
Oh yeah, Bob Dean. They had Clifford Stone on there. Bob Dean. I think they had Jordan Maxwell on there. Yeah, they had Jordan Maxwell on there. I love Jordan Maxwell. Dude, did they ever?
Interview? What happened with the? But they all went down there. Buzz Aldrin went down there too, and Buzz Aldrin had to be. They said he something was off with him down there.
Medically evacuated
down there, and he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, "It's evil. It's evil." The fuck is he talking about? What's down there that's evil? Look that shit up. What's down? What could possibly be down there that so many governments across the world would just be like, all right, we need to stop fucking around for a second. We need to go down there and look and see. What did they find?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, what's down there?
You know what that makes me? You know what that makes me think? All right. Now, I'm not too sure if everybody's heard this, but you remember when they came across that supposed quote unquote squid type deal down in Lake Vostok once they
Yeah,
drilled through the ice? Was that
and,
around the
and
same time where all of them were there?
Entity 4 is like, and they called it like Entity 4 or 5, some shit. They
Yeah,
gave it a number.
yeah. Was that around the time that everybody went down there?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Because now anybody who's never heard the story of Lake Vostok, there were some scientists. There were some scientists down there in Antarctica, and they were drilling
Sound
through
like
the
Jake
ice.
Break.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they drilled down about what, like what they say, 2 mile? Was it a mile?
Yeah.
Something like that. They drilled down, but they drilled a hole down big enough to like put some people through. So they sent a couple of scientists down there, and when they got down there, it basically came to an open lake. Sorry, it came to an open lake. So they were swimming around down there, and they came across this creature. It kind of looked like a squid, but not really. Like, it was able to kill one of the scientists, then it was swimming up to another one, but it made itself look like the other scientist that it just killed. Then it got that
Kind of like the alien on the Abyss, where it kept changing itself.
Mm-hmm. But they said when they first initially spotted it, it looked like some kind of like squid octopus type deal. So they ended up, I don't know if they tranquilized it or killed it. I can't remember, but they ended up bringing it to the surface and doing research on that. Could that possibly be why everyone was down there? I gotta look up the like around the time that was found and the time that they were down there, but that's I don't believe in coincidences, but that would be very interesting. There's no telling what the hell is underneath that ice down there. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll find out soon. All right. So, another great conspiracy. Don't know how true it is, but it's very interesting nonetheless. Is the Now I got to give her credit where I seen it. I seen this. This was years ago. Like seen it on Phantoms and Monsters. Mr. Lon Strickler, great. I check his page every day for new updates. I remember he was getting reports of when Katrina happened, that people were seeing reptilians walking around in the area. And there was a few numerous reports about that. Now that makes me wonder, if they were there, why were they there? How true are these reports? Well, he got them from multiple people. I believe he also got one from like a police officer who was down there at the time, where they saw these things like in the area walking around. And you ever hear about that, Dave?
Yeah, I've heard it.
About the reptilians down there in Katrina?
New Orleans.
Yep.
Oh, about the police officers doing training. They were talking about they were being trained and shit, how to handle reptilians and shit.
Mm-hmm. In the mall, there was reptilians walking around.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Well, if you go on Mr. Strickler's page, Phantoms and Monsters, if you've never been on that page, go check it out. Great information on there. Great information. You're gonna have to search for it, but I'm pretty sure it's still up there.
All right, Chica, have a good night.
Now, there's been reports of reptilians. Where?
Oh, that makes sense.
Or down
If
in
you
New
think
Orleans?
about it. Yeah. Well,
All right, hit me with your
remember
logic.
what happened with Vault. New Orleans ain't that far, ain't but a few hours from where Vault lived.
So,
Yeah, but that was years and years and years after.
well,
Like the thing that
Yeah.
found out on his property that happened a few years ago.
so, Bass,
But
while
trust me,
I was gone for a minute, did you talk about the Carthage, Missouri shit?
yeah.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't. I was about to get into
Nope.
it.
Okay. So, everybody. So in Carthage, Missouri, whatever, I can't pronounce it, whatever. There was an underground area that they cleared out. It was supposed to be like a park. I don't know what the hell they were doing with it. But in the earliest 2000s, these two guys decided they were going to drive their quads in there. And when they drove their quads in there, they came across some shit that should not have been in this tunnel system. Carthage, Missouri, M.O. Rep. Indians. All right. All right, so let me just scroll, make this a little bit bigger.
Now,
Okay.
I'm wondering where they went if that was off Civil War Road.
No, I got you. I found it right here. It's the first thing I found. All right. So this happened in 2004. Location and date. Location and date. Near Carthage, Missouri, March 7th, 2004, afternoon. The two witnesses had gone ATV riding in an area referred to as the Underground, which is a public and private storage facility near the town. The facility is miles and miles of carved out caves and also stores thousands of dehydrated food containers for the Navy. It is also a fallout shelter that can hold up to 40 to 50,000 people. They had gone about 8 miles deep into the caves when they turned into an area that was marked Naval Authoritative Zone. The walls had become more polished or finished, which was striking because this was supposed to be a newly blasted area. Both witnesses just kept going, increasing their speed since the floor was now paved. They came upon an unusual painted pattern on the floor, which they thought it was graffiti. The road then dipped down and took a 90-degree turn to the left. They were going too fast and they knew they were going to hit the wall, but instead they passed through some kind of holographic projection of the cave wall. Now they had come upon a whole new road system. This one large and much older than the one they had just come from. They began to notice a musty and damp odor that intensified as they went deeper into the area. The lighting had changed as well. It was now much darker. Than the area from which they had come. They turned on their headlights and slowed down, also noticing that it was starting to get cooler. They made a right turn and started to come up on what they thought was a rest area about 40 feet away. One of the witnesses then saw something that at first he thought was a pair of fountains until the objects moved. They both stopped immediately. About 30 feet away, they saw two creatures. One was very tall, at least 7 feet, maybe more, and very, very powerfully built and reddish in color. The other was smaller, about 6 feet tall, and was pale, almost albino color. This one was not as powerfully built as the other. Both beings resembled large reptiles. The beings said nothing, but the witnesses did get a strong malevolent feeling, an evil presence of some kind from the taller one. One of the witnesses screamed, and then they immediately turned and started back. As they looked back, they noticed the taller entity was following them. One witness had an overwhelming feeling that if it caught them, harm would come to them. They passed through the wall projection again, looked back, and saw the tall entity raise its arm holding a weapon of some sort. It fired and hit one of the ATVs, which apparently killed the engine, causing it to stop. The rider ran to the other ATV and jumped on. They drove away and looked back to see the tall reptilian had now stopped at the graffiti area of the cave floor. It seemed that the creature would not cross this strange marked area, some type of barrier for the creature. The witnesses now slowed down and were about 75 feet away from the creature. The two men and the reptilian stared at each other for another 15 seconds and then they left. The creature remained standing without moving. One of the witnesses called the police on his cell phone, but he was told that the security at the facility would handle the matter. Indeed, security waited for the men and threatened to arrest them if they did not leave. Note, above was the initial report of the incident posted on UFOabout.com forum. Below is the statement given by one of the witnesses, Pat Garrett, on his reptilian experience as reported to Mary Sutherland, Bufu Paranormal and UFO Radio. This past Sunday, the 7th, a friend and I were riding ATVs in a place called the Underground, and it was and it now just goes into what he said, what he saw and shit. But this happened in 2004. These two guys riding ATVs down there, and they come across some shit that said naval area, and they cross into a hologram and get accosted by reptilians. That's not the first time that type of shit's happened. I mean, isn't there supposed to be an underground reptilian city in California?
Yeah, and underneath, it's either LA or San Francisco. But piggybacking off what you were saying about the Navy or whatever. Now, if you go back and look up some of these older documents that they released and didn't completely black out, most of them have a DNI,
Department of Naval Intelligence, tag on them.
Yep.
Like
All right, hold on. Now, if you go back and you remember the guy Victor that Art Bell interviewed on the Art Bell show, right?
Yep.
Now, if you go back and you watch, if you could find that interview, you can watch that video. Those numbers and letters that are across the bottom, what the one of the first ones says DNI, Department of Naval Intelligence. Why would the Navy be dealing with this shit?
Shell, you want me to read it? What he says in his own words. The Carthage guy. If you want to hear what the Carthage guy said in his own words.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me bite a piece of naan, take a drink, and I got you.
Now, did they ever show a picture of
what the hell you
where they went in?
There's pictures available of that area. They didn't take any pictures though.
Okay.
Are you eating a damn Christmas cookie?
It's called naan, man. Naan.
Oh, naan bread?
Naan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
All right. So this one more. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the account from Pat Garrett in his own words.
After he shot Billy the Kid.
A few days after this encounter. So he goes on, he says, this past Sunday, the 7th, a friend and I were riding two ATVs in a place called the Underground. It's a public and private storage facility in Carthage, Missouri. What makes this place such a desirable storage facility is that it's all underground, hence the name. They are constantly expanding this place, and there are miles and miles of carved out caves in there, and it goes pretty deep. This facility stores thousands and thousands of food containers, all dehydrated for the Navy. I have seen them, and it is public knowledge around here. It is also a fallout shelter that was able to hold some 40 to 50,000 people. I tell you this.
Oh, it'll hold a lot more than that.
I tell you this to give some sense of the vastness of this place. I worked there as a subcontractor some 9 years ago. I helped build the office spaces up on top. I started to explore then, about once a month. I started to explore then about once a month, and I did so all the way until this past Sunday. However, I never went as deep as I never went as deep before. It was fun to take the ATVs and cruise underground. No rain or weather problems ever. We were approximately 8 miles in, and I'd say maybe 500 feet deep when we took a turn down an area that was marked with a naval authoritative zone. Uh, I remember making a comment about the Navy getting a ship down there, and said that it was an easy posting. The walls became more defined, as in polished or finished, and this was striking because this was supposed to be a newly blasted area. Totally backward, I would think. Still thinking nothing was wrong, we kept going, actually increasing speed because the floor was paved now and we could go faster. We came up on an unusual painted pattern on the floor, and I thought, cool, graffiti. Kids have been down here. We're safe. We won't get in trouble. The road dipped down, and then it took a 90-degree turn to the left. We had no warning, and we were going too fast, and I knew we were going to hit the wall, but we didn't. We passed through some kind of projection in the cave siding. Although I don't know how it was done, it was real looking. We passed into a whole where was it? We passed into a whole new road system. This one was large and much older to where we came from. We started to smell an odor, musty, damp, growing stronger as we went deeper on the smell. The lighting decreased as well, probably about 60% less than the other areas. We turned on our headlights. We continued on at about 5 to 7 miles an hour for about 5 minutes, and we noticed it was getting cooler, which was to me very strange since once inside a cave a certain distance, the temp stays the same. We made a right turn and started to come up on what I thought was a rest area on the side. About 40 feet away, I thought it looked like a pair of fountains until they moved. We both stopped immediately. We were approximately 30 feet away now, and what we saw were two creatures. One was very tall, at least 7 feet, or maybe more, and powerfully built, reddish in color, and the other one was smaller, about 6 feet, not red in color but pale, like albino, and it was powerfully built. It didn't look as big as the other one. They looked like reptiles, living, walking, intelligent beings, not human, not warm-blooded, reptiles. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. They said nothing, but I did get a strong sense from the big one, a malevolence, an evil presence of some kind. My friend screamed, and we turned around, a power turn. We started to go back out. When my friend said the big one was after us. I looked back, and it was following us. I had the overwhelming feeling that if it caught us, harm would come to us. We passed through the wall. We passed through the wall projection, and I looked back and saw the thing raise its arm, and it had a weapon of some sorts. It fired and hit the ATV my friend was on. The engine died, and he stopped. I told him to jump on, and he did. I gunned it, and then my friend said, "Stop." I slowed down, and he said, "Hey, look." I looked back, and the thing stopped at the graffiti on the cave floor. The ATV was on its side. Of the graffiti symbol. It was obvious that the thing would not cross the marking. I slowed more. We were about 75 feet away. I stopped, and the three of us, me, my friend, and the creature, reptile slash man thing, just looked at each other for about 15 seconds. And let me tell you, that was a long time. Then I started to leave. It stayed there waiting and not moving until we were out of sight. As soon as we cleared the cave, I got on my cell phone, called the sheriff's department. I was told they would not come out, and that underground security would handle it. Then they hung up. So underground security came out. They hung up. By law, they are not allowed. By law, they are not to do that. We can hang up on anyone, but a government office, be it city or federal, are not allowed to hang up on you. Anyway, I was shocked and scared, and we took off across the outside of the underground over to my truck, and sure enough, underground security was waiting for us. We were told to leave. not to tell anybody about this, that if I come back, the Navy would press charges. I was also told that I had a 10-minute. I was also told that I had 10 minutes to leave, or I would be taken in. What I can say, we left. It's been 3 days since this happened, and I'm still shaking. I am a powerful person, 6'4", 265 pounds, and I have never in my life been afraid like that until this past Sunday. And he said he lost one of his SUV was still sitting there at that point. No, not SUV, ATV.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's shit happening. See? Some of the stuff we used to come across, like above Top Secret, we came across them talking about the building of an underground facility out in fucking China and shit. And then it went mum's words.
In 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Which you could, if you do some research, you'll find some articles about that shit. And if you read those articles, yeah, some shit went down over there. Like, 'cause with that subject, I think I backtracked a little bit, and I actually found the protests and stuff that happened before that, when they initially were building the facility.
Yeah, so right now I'm dipping this naan in some hell of a good French onion dip. Tastes pretty good.
I was about to say, you eating hummus?
Oh, that's just disgusting. Shit, now it's beans, man. Who the hell? I don't like beans. I'm pretty sure it's beans, right?
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Krista Tilton. You remember Krista Tilton?
The Krista Tilton story. What happened with Carla Turner? Who's the yeah? What happened with Carla Turner? Which I believe they took her out also. And just, you know what? You know what? If anybody has an inquiring mind, just search individuals that were killed dealing with the ufology topic, and see what comes up, and see how many names come up. I think that's a nice deep dive. That's a deep dive.
It's like a
what? List of people killed associated with the field of ufology.
So
I want to find those cave entrance they went into.
you say you want to find it?
Yeah. See, I always had to go in to the caves there off Civil War Road, which is off US 71. You go, as soon as you get off the exit, go east, go up the hill to the water tank, and you made a left to go check in. That was one entrance. But I always had to go back out the road to the other side to go down to the caves that side. Now I'm wondering where the other cave systems are, because after he said that he worked in the offices doing the electrical.
They said they were 8 miles in, right?
Yeah.
8 miles. How big you fucking?
Now I'm wondering if he's going 8 miles east toward Springfield. To see, between Joplin, which is right there at Carthage, all the way to Springfield, you got quite a few different places where you actually can go into the old original caves and explore. But then you got the other caves, which everybody goes to as the warehouses. Because I'm thinking there's got to be another entrance for the Department of the Navy.
I like. Good luck going down there and look for that shit, because I wouldn't be doing it. It's hearing reports like that. So deaths in the UFO field. You have Professor John E. Mack, who was a famed. He worked with alien abductees, and yeah. So John Mack, he was killed by a drunk driver. Apparently, John Mack was he was a big guy that worked with UFO abductees. You have Morris K. Jessup. He's from he was in the 50s. His books included The Case for the UFO and The Expanding Case for the UFO. His interests involved ancient levitation, modern day saucer stories, and the so-called Philadelphia experiment. Danny Casolaro. You remember that name, Mike or Bass? Yo, is he here?
Did he fall asleep?
Unmute yourself, motherfucker.
I'm sorry, I had to use the bathroom. I'm sorry for muting myself.
Oh. Back to it. Remember Danny Casolaro?
Danny Casolaro. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. That happened in the early 90s, too. That was like 92?
91?
91,
So,
92, something like that.
So, Danny Casolaro, right? I'm going to read you a little tidbit about this guy, because this shit was pretty interesting. The death of Danny Casolaro. It was midway through 1991 when the lifeless corpse of a middle-aged man was found in a hotel room in Martinsburg, West Virginia Sheraton Hotel. Martinsville Sheraton Inn. Specifically, his body was lying in the shower. It was a grim sight. It was a grim sight for the maid that found the discovery. The man, it seemed, had committed suicide. His wrists were cut deep, something which effectively meant that without anyone for help, the man was doomed, and he was. It didn't take more than a few minutes for the hotel staff to figure out who exactly the man was. He was identified by the person out on the front desk as Danny Casolaro. He was an investigative journalist of the Woodward and Bernstein variety. At the time, Casolaro was pursuing a dangerous group of people that he called the Octopus. Supposedly, they engineered the JFK assassination, Watergate, the Lockerbie, Scotland Jumbo Jet 747 crash over Scotland in 1988, and much more. As Casolaro continued his research, he found himself finding more and more UFO links to the Octopus, such as tales of UFOs, alien autopsies, Area 51, and much more. Casolaro was right on the edge of writing a book on all of this when death decided to come along. Two cases that I suspect were suspicious and that weren't. In other words, we have to be very careful as to how we handle such delicate events and incidents. Just because someone in ufology dies, it doesn't mean it has to be under suspicious circumstances. But on the other side of the coin, we shouldn't ignore such grim possibilities.
Well, yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, the whole story is he found some information pertaining to arms being dealt on one of the Native American grounds, Native American lands, or whatever, and that there was a certain technology that was created for the police and the FBI or something like that, and it was sold to a private person who was able to. All right, they created it for like the FBI and the police and everything like that, and it was sold. But they had somebody had a back door to it where they could get all the information that the police and whatnot had, and everything linked up to this giant cabal. And if I'm not mistaken, the Dulce base was involved in this story also. Like, you got to go back and read the whole Danny Castellaro, like what happened to him and whatnot. And he told I think it was his mother or someone in his family that before he left that.
I got it right here. Hold up. So, on August 10th, 1991, journalist Joseph Danny Castellaro was found dead in a bathtub at the Sheraton Hotel in Martinsburg, West Virginia. For weeks, Castellaro had been following leads on a story he dubbed the Octopus. Castellaro believed his digging had linked the powers within the U.S. government and high finance to a melange of dark events around the world. Before his death, Danny Castellaro told his family he was being harassed and threatened, and soon after, he was dead. His death was ruled a suicide, but his family still believes he was a victim of the same network he was trying to expose.
Seems like I saw something the other day on the same thing, but it didn't have this reporter. But the guy talking about it connected JFK, Watergate, and everything else all together. He was giving an interview about it.
Yeah, the whole shit was like the government stole like there was like a backdoor program into like some government shit. And the whole shit was really, really weird. And then he started making these connections, and then he was off.
Yeah.
They seemed to do that a lot in the early 90s. They offed a lot of people in the early 90s. I couldn't tell you.
No, with it being called the Octopus.
I guess they found better tactics.
If you think about it, it's almost like calling it Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of many heads, you got many arms.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, when Danny Castellaro went to the hotel, he had everything that he was writing, all of his notes and everything like that. He had it all with him, and that went missing also. Like everything he came across, gone.
So one of the things that he was investigating was
and
it's
now
called
they want to
the Inslaw scandal. Castellaro's starting point for his investigation was a real criminal case, a wide-ranging Washington scandal involving allegations that the U.S. government has stolen software company Inslaw's Promise program and added illegal backdoors in order to spy on foreign governments. Castellaro called his conspiracy Octopus for a reason, as he followed the trail from Promise to reveal a much larger story, one that encompassed such seemingly desperate events as the October surprise, the collapse of the bank BBCI, and the illegal drugs and arms trade, all orchestrated by a secret cabal of global elites. While in the full context of Castellaro's Octopus is in dispute, it is based on several real events. You know what? I'm gonna have to start digging down.
Yeah, because man, back in the early '90s, man, they would just they wouldn't care because there was no internet access or anything like that, so they could basically just off you. Then
do what they
then
want.
the stories, the story
Do
is
what they-
hearsay.
Yeah, do what they want. When somebody starts asking about missing people, somebody missing around, there's been enough time that they can come up with their own story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna hit. It's not gonna go viral like it would
I don't
now.
know, man. I think they're getting so desperate now. I think they came back to tactics. They brought back the old tactics.
Well, who's been offed?
Recently?
Yeah,
Do I want to say this on air?
go ahead.
All right. It was an individual who was with the Clintons that had ties to Mr. Island over there, and they found him tied to a tree, shot in the chest, and they ruled it suicide.
Oh yeah.
Like recently. I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. See, now they're just getting blatant with shit. They really don't care anymore.
They're putting everything.
They
They're
really
putting
don't give
everything.
a
They're putting everything in our faces. They just don't give a shit anymore. Like, hey, what the fuck you got? Hey, we're doing this. What the fuck you guys gonna do about it?
Right.
That's exactly how they feel.
What gets me is these medical examiners and the cops getting paid off to say this. Oh, he was suicide.
Absolutely. Look at the story of Phil Schneider. Either that or suicide by
his buddy Ron Rummel.
Shot in the head. I don't mean to say it like that, but shot in the head and they ruled it as suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shot in the head from the back.
Yep. Execution style. Like the shit is. You had
Vince Foster.
All right. So for everyone in chat, I know we have a whole lot of eagle-minded people out there. In recent times, not who was the first individual who became a casualty to UFO disclosure? You two, I know you probably know. Don't answer it. I'm looking for everybody in chat.
In recent history,
like within the last 100 years.
You said last 100?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is your brain working so hard? You should know this.
Because, motherfucker, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning.
I've been up since 5.
And I worked a double. So, go fuck yourself.
And I've been dealing with idiots all day. So, no, not Kennedy.
Nope.
No.
All right.
Further than that.
Rewind. Forrestal.
I told you not to say nothing, you ass. Why you say so? Looking for the people in the chat to see if they know it. Come on, you're killing me. But yes, James V. Forrestal, I personally believe, I think it might be a little earlier than that, but he might be the first casualty due to UFO disclosure.
You can throw Paul Benowitz in that shit too. He was a UFO casualty. They drove him down.
I said the first.
First known.
Yes, first known was James V. Forrestal. Paul Benowitz didn't die till the 2000s, but they drove him crazy in the late 80s, early 90s. First casualty to the UFO disclosure was James V. Forrestal, and they threw him out the window. Like, I don't mean like they literally
the first
threw
known.
him out the window. That's
First
what I was
known.
asking.
No, because I'm just saying because remember you go back and you talk to some of these. You go back and you listen to some of the interviews from these people that were in Roswell, like during that fucking Roswell crash. The military was going around wholesale telling motherfuckers, "Listen, the bullets are cheap, and we'll dig you a hole in the desert." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and everybody shut the hell up about it.
Well, who? So
He was only killed.
That,
he was only killed like I want to say a year and a half, maybe 2 years later.
Who's to say they didn't off? Who's to say they didn't off one of these people before that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Holes in the desert, man.
My question was, who was the first known person?
Well,
that was a casualty to UFO disclosure.
Well,
it was James V. Forrestal. They threw him out the damn window.
Well, I gave you another aspect. Yeah, they threw him out the window because they knew his brother was coming to get him.
Threw him. It wasn't like a third story. They threw him out.
Fucking
10 plus floors up.
Yeah, like they his brother was coming to get him, and they Captain J. Martel.
That happened in the 50s.
I don't know if he was.
Jesse
I don't know
Martel.
if he was actually not Jesse. It wasn't Jesse Martel.
J. Martel. J. Martel. Jesse Martel. That's his name. Captain Jesse Martel.
Well, but I don't know if he was actually killed by aliens. I know he chased one down and his plane crashed. I think he might have been chasing it down and went too far up and blacked out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Just think about it, we were highly advanced back then with the jet fighters and shit like that, but we weren't that advanced where we were going to go up that high. Not no fighter jet. He probably hit straight vertical jump trying to catch the shit and hit some G forces that he wasn't ready for. And yeah.
What about the shit?
A flat span.
You remember the Vietnam stories?
A whole bunch of them.
There's one story. There's one story that came out of Vietnam, and one of these transport planes, like one of the U.S. transport planes or whatever. The only way to describe it was they sent a team out to find this plane. And when they found this plane, it didn't crash. It hadn't crashed. It looked like it was sat down in the jungle. Right? When they came upon it, they you guys ever heard of the human mutilation phenomenon?
Yep.
When they came upon that plane, that's what the pilots looked like, sitting in their seats.
Still.
Yep. Still strapped in their seats, and they look like that. And there was another incident where a bunch of soldiers rolled up on some graves that were loading body parts into a craft.
Oh, I remember that one. Yep. And then you got stories of the rock apes and all that shit like that. Weird creatures being seen.
The rock apes, what do they call those? What do they used to call those? The river boats that the Americans used in Vietnam.
PT.
Was PT boats?
Yep.
And there was a few instances where a few of these PT boats were accosted and attacked by strange lights in the sky.
Yep.
If you go back and you look at it, this might even date back to like 1776 and First Civil War. No, I bet you there is reports of people seeing strange lights in the skies.
Oh, there's always been.
I'd put a good sum of money on that. And I'm not really a betting man. I'm a scratch off guy, but I'd put a good bit of money on that.
I don't remember.
Every major war conflict, I bet you there has been lights seen in the sky.
Yeah,
giant spiders here on this side or
giant spiders in
worldwide.
Vietnam. giant spiders in Vietnam.
You missed me on that shit. Oh, dude, speaking of spiders, did any of you guys come across that video earlier where the dude's laying on his side and the damn doctor drops some like eardrops or something in his ear and that black spider comes crawling out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
No, thank you.
Oh my dude, the shit was the size of a dime.
Don't send that to me. I'll fucking punch you.
I ain't sending that shit to nobody. I wouldn't do you like that. No. Giant spiders, rock apes, aliens.
I'm one of those dudes. When I take a shower, I look in all four corners. I'm always looking for spiders. Sorry.
Well, after I had that freaking brown recluse in my damn hallway when I'm trying to take out my garbage last year.
Can't.
That was some funny shit.
I don't do spiders, man.
Was walking down the steps. I seen his ass. I'm like, oh, hold on. So I went to go get the broom. Went back upstairs, got the broom, came back down. Like I swiped at him pretty damn hard. I know I hit him, dude. He jumped off the wall, looked at me, and started jumping at me.
Is that all you got?
Yeah. Like,
come on, motherfucker.
Like,
do it again. I'll get your ass.
I shit you not, man. He started jumping out. Like I had to go back up the step, like 2 steps. Like
he punked you. Just say it. He punked you.
Yeah, he did. It was a fucking brown recluse. What do you want? I don't do spiders, dude. Listen, all right. I'll tell you what. When was it? It was last spring. I'm out fishing on the lake. I'm on my little raft or whatever. Get over by a tree, start casting by the tree. See a spider on the tree. All of a sudden, this fucking spider jumps off the tree and starts jumping towards my boat on the water. Dude, I took my paddle out and I started smacking. Dude, I almost went for a swim because he almost got in my shit. Nah, I'm good on that, bro.
There was a story from Vietnam about a rock ape in a tree throwing.
There's a bunch of stories about rock apes from me.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't remember if they're as big as quote unquote Sasquatch, but they were big enough to chuck shit at people. No.
Shit, in regards to the giant spiders and shit, they report shit. Shit, they report spiders down there. Giant spiders the size of dogs down near Fort Polk.
Yep, Louisiana.
Well, right outside the fences.
Numerous people have reported seeing fucking spiders the size of dogs down there.
Nah, James, my I'm not gonna lie, my craft fits right in the trunk of my car. It's inflatable.
It's an inflatable dirigible.
It's inflatable. It's picture a Zodiac, but a lot smaller.
A dinghy.
It's not a dinghy. Not a dinghy.
My dinghy.
Listen, my shit gets the job done. I just can't get out there if the wind is like 10 miles an hour. It gets it done. If I get out there in 10-mile-an-hour winds, it's a wrap. So that's just gonna sling me around like a like a piece of string in the wind. But I do have a boat. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what other weird sightings happened during some of these major like wars? I remember there's that one video floating around of supposedly, I don't know if it's German troops or I know you know what video I'm talking about, where there's like a werewolf body sitting in the grass and the eyes are like clouded white, not in the grass but in like a little stream and the eyes are clouded white.
I think that's supposed to be German troops during World War II.
Like they showed one guy who looked like he had claw marks on him.
No, thank you. Oh, come on. You have a fucking werewolf over here.
Listen, man. This is just what we know that's happening in the States that we're talking about. There's no telling what the hell they see worldwide, man.
Exactly. Think of South America.
Think about what's still floating around in that Amazon jungle down there, man. Just think about it. That shit actually
Some of the dankest sticky.
Or wait, another good one. They found a couple 100 miles worth of underground tunnels and stuff like that down in Brazil underneath the rainforest, I believe. Might be mistaken. Or how they found 7,000 islands recently.
You saw that TikTok too?
7,000.
That new land?
Yep, 7,000. How the hell do you find 7,000?
So, me and my buddy were talking about that.
7,000.
Right. So, if you're finding 7,000 islands, right? I'm kind of thinking that the water level is receding. You get what I mean? Because it's revealing this landmass. Now, if that's the case, well, that can't be the case, right? Because you have pieces of Antarctica breaking off and falling into the ocean, and these are huge chunks of fucking ice, which is causing the sea levels to rise. Am I mistaken with that? Now,
no, you're not mistaken.
There's a whole Doomsday Glacier.
Now, if the sea levels are rising, right, because of what we're doing, and then these large fucking pieces of Antarctica falling off into the ocean, raising sea levels, how are they finding 7,000 islands or new land masses?
You're forgetting one thing. You were talking about ice going fire, molten core, lava, pushing the land up.
That's just true. I was just thinking about
What, 7,000 though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That were just discovered. Like, I'm pretty sure they should have found that shit years ago, unless they found it and now they're just releasing the information, which happens a lot.
And I don't know how
7,000.
I don't know how much of this is true and how much of it is bullshit. But apparently, one of these islands has like dinosaurs or some shit on it. That's what this video said.
So in other words, they actually found Skull Island.
Yeah. And they sent like a 15-man crew there, and it had like some kind of like some uber fucking predator dinosaur on there and shit.
Mm-hmm. And they killed a couple of their team members before they were able to get off the island.
Mm-hmm. Why?
How do you wait? All right. How do you just pull 7,000 islands out of your ass like that?
You don't. You don't pull 7,000 islands out of your ass like that. That shit was there. It's already been there. You just weren't told about it.
Or you go with the Hadron Collider again. And therefore,
splitting.
You've got two different universes colliding.
Right, yep.
Two different dimensions.
Making it strange.
Now,
two different dimensions, like basically crashing in on each other.
now, like I said, man,
You
gotta
get some of the Mandela effect and some of the shit that's being found and experienced, shit that's on the other side that's now being seen on this side. Like that is an interesting thing to think about.
Like I said, you got to break down the word. You got to break down some of these words by their actual meaning, like extraterrestrial. Right, extra. Everybody knows what extra means, but terra, terrestrial, land, land dweller, extraterrestrial, and a person from the extra land. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like
extraterrestrial. Within.
Have you seen this new thing like floating around on TikTok about the
I
video,
like that way. Maybe the island's just uncloaked.
Have you seen the recent things that's been going around TikTok where supposedly satellite footage from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s of no, or is it some kind of? I might be mistaken. It might be space footage of the Earth, and according to the way this video is going, the Earth is flat.
Yep, I've seen those. Like I said, I don't believe in a flat Earth.
Listen, I could bring on my camera the box of shells I have right next to me that proves the Earth's not flat.
Yeah,
from 100 yards.
I think the shit is just bigger than what we're being told. Hence why there is extra land somewhere. It's bigger than what it's bigger than what we're being told. I mean, a whole lot fucking bigger.
It might just be now that we have a freaking island of garbage over there in the Pacific. That's about the size of Texas. That's its own landmass now.
Yep. Which could have been taken care of, but everybody wants to just bitch and complain about, but not do anything about it.
Oh, wait, hold on.
They pretty much got a Manhattan Island growing over there by Texas, because that's all fucking Manhattan Island is. It's just built on garbage.
Well, did you hear about Mohawk? How Mohawk Point is going to release? How much was it? I think like 1 million gallons of radiated water into the Hudson River.
For what?
To get rid of it? Like it's the funk nuclear plant that they got down there. They're about to dump all the water into the Hudson River. Like the Hudson River isn't polluted enough. I think they said like 100,000 gallons or 1 million gallons or something like that.
Dude, they're trying to fucking pollute every fucking thing, dude. Everything.
Oh, dude, we just had that freaking crash the other day that had a diesel truck with it. Spillage over there. Hazmat was there. And this is in Worceboro, 15 minutes away.
Not even.
And that's kind of a major by highway, like 209. That shit runs for a long time, 209. I think it runs from like PA to like Ulster County, which is probably like 40 miles, 30, 40 miles, something like that.
They're claiming the shit's accidents, and it's not accidents, dude. They're doing this shit on purpose. I wonder who has the fucking contracts to clean all this crap up. Like back in the early 2000s when back in the early 2000s when they went over to Iraq, who had the contracts to rebuild shit over there?
Halliburton.
Exactly. Who ran Halliburton?
Cheney.
Exactly. Like the shit is they're putting the shit in our faces and they just don't. They're like, hey, listen, we're doing this. Fuck you. We're gonna keep doing it. Fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? That's what they're doing. And
yeah, but
at least that plane, there was a plane that went down, and it was a bunch of people that were going to fucking start testing and everything.
It was a bunch of environmentalists that were on their way to Ohio to test like the air and the water and everything like that, and their plane went down. But did you see that a day later, quote unquote, somebody in that area committed suicide? I mean, like the next day.
That I didn't hear.
Listen, they started to tighten the ship up, but now they're getting all loosey goosey with it, man.
Yeah, they just don't give a fuck.
Like at this point, they really don't give a shit.
They gotta get this agenda. They gotta get this agenda done. No, I mean, I think they're on a fucking timeline or something like that.
Well, that timeline isn't gonna work.
They got to be on a timeline or something. Because this shit is just every day. It's just amping up, amping up, amping up, amping up.
Yep. Because remember, it was not just a few months ago that the railroad was about to shut down until they got everything straightened out with the union. Remember? Then all of a sudden, this train derailed.
Like, there's theories that it's the union doing it, the train unions doing the shit, but I don't see why they would do that.
It ain't the union. It's the higher ups saying, okay, we'll do this. You do this one favor for us, because they got somebody else tapping them on the shoulder saying, do that.
See, now I got a question about these railroads and shit like that. So these railroads that these trains are crashing on, they can't possibly be the same railroads that the government used to transport quote unquote undisclosed shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet I put money on you. Put money on it. Those railroads are pristine. Those tracks, nothing in the way. With shit that has to come to consumer, trash. I remember I seen one video where this guy was talking about he worked at a place in PA, and they were supposed to take some of the train cars that were in the Ohio crash in the PA. Like, nobody wanted them. Like the company didn't want them. His company didn't want them. And those like trailers, those trailers, they were carrying like cases of like different beer, like Corona and shit like that, and they had all that smoke and stuff on them before they got taken off. So if you drink Coronas, what do you say? It was Coronas, Busch Light, or some shit like that. Watch out, because they were 2 cars up from the chemical explosion, so they got all that shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not only that, remember, 2 days before the train derailment, the CDC changed the
vinyl chloride shit.
The molecular structure of said chemical to something else.
Yeah.
And the CDC went on their website and changed up their stipulation for vinyl chloride and how much is okay to have in like your drinking water and shit like that.
Yeah.
Very fucking convenient, don't you think?
Dude, there's
you can have
factories
you can have 20
burning all over.
1,000 or some shit like that.
Like I really think they think people are stupid.
I'm sure they do.
They don't care.
Which, like I said in one of my other rants, it's a bunch of fucking NPCs. So yes, they think everybody's stupid. All the people walking around with their phones in their face like this, talking TikTok, blah 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 blah. You're all NPCs. You're all NPCs.
I cannot stand that shit.
You guys,
I cannot stand that shit.
You're all
I'm
NPCs.
sitting there, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to help you. Hold on, let me get this across. I'm sitting there trying to help you. You walk in, hey, how you doing today? But you're sitting there with your fucking phone in your face and you got your speakerphone on, so I can't hear, but I can hear your fucking conversation. And then you got the nerve to put your finger up at me like, oh, I need a minute. Nah, fuck that. I'll give you 15. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom. Like, dude, that shit gets underneath my skin so bad. Or when people walk in with those damn AirPods on, those earpiece of shit.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The Bluetooth.
Yes, I want to smack them shits out of people's ears. Because those are the arrogant ones that give you the, hold on, give me a minute. Hold on, give me no.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I dealt with that shit for too long to be dealing with this shit from you schmucks.
That's why I like it where a lot of the places I go to says, if you're on your phone, we're not going to deal with you.
Dude, it's not even. It's not. It's being a person. It's not being an asshole. Like, what's the best way I could describe it? It's actually like showing that you have a thought process going in your head that you don't need to have your damn phone in front of your face. Like, don't see. I'm starting to get pissed off thinking about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. But the shit used to happen to me all the time.
Oh yeah.
You get those idiots that be on the phone. You're like, yeah, I want to order this. I'm like, okay. You haven't.
All right, this is the video Shell just sent me, so I'm about to play this for you guys. It's like 5 minutes, so.
Okay.
Everybody needs to know right now. I have EPA documents confirming this. They created this molecule in the fire. When they set fire to the vinyl chloride, they turned it into a chemical weapons factory that unleashed TCDD. And then they called this a controlled burn, which is a lie. It's not a controlled burn. It was a chemical factory, a chemical bomb on America, an act of ecological terror. And as a toxin, it interferes with everything. Fertility. It causes cancer. It causes spontaneous abortions, deformities.
Sounds like the shot.
Problems. Exactly. But it's in a way, it's even worse than the shot because this, Alex, this gets unvaccinated people. Think all the unvaccinated people, if you eat, you cannot avoid this. I have EPA documents confirming this. They created this molecule in the fire, which is on the right. This is the most toxic molecule ever created by man. It's 2378 TCDD. It's one dioxin of a class of dioxins. And you'll notice that oxygens are inserted into the center of this molecule. It has the carbons, the hydrogens, and now chlorine on both ends. 4 chlorine atoms, and that creates armor. In essence, a chemical armor where this molecule is practically indestructible like Teflon. This molecule is a disruptor of every system in the human body.
So it doesn't break down like radiation.
It will not break down. It doesn't have a half-life like radiation. It is considered a persistent bioaccumulative toxin. That's called the PBT by the EPA. Persistent means it doesn't go away. Bioaccumulative means that it accumulates up the food chain. It falls on the grass. Grass is eaten by the cows, goes into the cow fat cells. It ends up in the milk, the cheese, the meat, the eggs, and so on. And then as a toxin, it interferes with everything. Fertility. It causes cancer. It causes spontaneous abortions, deformities.
Sounds like the shot.
Problems. Exactly. But it's in a way, it's even worse than the shot because this, Alex, this gets unvaccinated people. Think all the unvaccinated people, if you eat, you cannot avoid this if you're dealing with food that suffered the fallout. So let me repeat. When they set fire to the vinyl chloride, they turned it into a chemical weapons factory that unleashed TCDD. And then they called this a controlled burn, which is a lie. It's not a controlled burn. It was a chemical factory, a chemical bomb on America, an act of ecological terror. For those on the radio, I'm showing a molecule of vinyl chloride. It contains hydrogen, carbon, and chlorine. That's it. Just those 3 elements. Vinyl chloride is what was on the trains. It's considered an industrial waste, but not an insanely toxic waste product. You can deal with vinyl chloride. You can, you can for hazardous waste facility.
No,
that's what was when they set fire to it. And learned this from Eric Coppolino, who's
true. Remove it. It started getting redundant. It just kept repeating itself.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you sons of bitches.
What? What?
Dave, do you know why I said that?
What?
What?
You guys weren't listening to the damn video?
Oh, I was listening, but also watching the road.
Well, it just said that whatever just happened is gonna affect the unjabbed.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay.
So is that their way of getting everybody now?
Well, think about it. If you put whatever that shit is in the air, it's gonna get in the clouds. It's gonna rain down. It's gonna rain down on all the crops. It's gonna rain down on all the livestock and whatnot. And yeah, you think people were eating poison now? Oh. You know what I want to pay attention to this year, because there's a whole lot of because everybody knows. Wow, if you haven't realized, everybody knows I love fishing. I love watching the tournaments with the big names, shit like the Bass Elite Series and stuff like that. And a lot of these guys are going to be on the schedule for this year. They're going to be fishing in some of these areas. I kind of want to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these big tournaments take place in some of these areas. Wow. Oh yeah, another thing about being a huge fishing fan and watching fishing tournaments and stuff like that. Some of these guys, well, a lot of these tournaments, they're fished in high cryptid areas. And some of these guys, they'll travel 10, 15 miles down the lake and end up in some kind of back cove or something like that. I want to know, has any of these guys ever seen or experienced anything strange while out fishing one of these tournaments in one of these back coves that nobody ever really gets into?
I guarantee it. I guarantee it, and they're just not going to say anything about it.
Well, there was that one guy down in South Carolina talking about it.
No, I didn't hear about this. You're going to have to explain, bro.
Him and another guy was out bass fishing on one of the rivers, and they run up on
or were they just leisurely fishing?
I believe. Wait a minute. There was one in Illinois and one in South Carolina. They were in a damn tournament. Illinois was a tournament. South Carolina may have been a tournament. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them, but the one guy in Illinois knew of a spot off the river. So, because they had to lower everything down inside the boat to go under this one bridge to get to these backwaters.
Talking cryptid show.
But the one in South Carolina, they was out in this little cove, and they run up on one, and it started throwing rocks at them. And you just followed them for 1,000 yards. And finally, the dude said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here." And he got the hell out, and he never went back. But let me get off here right quick. I got to go. I got to hit the bathroom. Be back.
Right. Well, yo, Wilka, I think we're going to end it. We've been going 3 hours, but we're going to be back for
Damn, really?
Yeah, I'm going to call my cousins in the morning and figure out what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to do it a little.
If I was you, I'd meet up with them, say, okay, we're going to be at this time. Be ready.
Yeah, this shit was. I'm sorry it didn't go the way it's planned this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But
still,
we're going to come back. What happened?
One of them 3-letter agencies were fucking with you.
It wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Dude, my phone, I've never seen my phone act like that. Never.
No, hasn't. But I'm gonna reach out to these guys tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna post in the community tab what the deal is, and then we will go from there. But we'll be doing a show tomorrow night too, so we will see you guys tomorrow after we get all this shit squared away. Have a good one, and thank you guys for joining us.
Mañana.
Later.
Boom, boom. There we go.